what's up you guys? Marty Schwartz here with Marty Music. Got another cool countdown for you guys. Once again, thank you so much for the support. We couldn't do without you. Rock music has certainly evolved into quite a behemoth considering its humble roots. There are quite a few styles and genres that infect the mainstream, but thanks to the beautiful, amazing, and income-providing internet, quite a few subgenres have grown in popularity. So to honor some of the lesser-known annals of rock, we are counting down the most notable subgenres. Let's rock! Freak folk. This is one of the older subgenres on our list. Freak folk is defined as a psychedelic version of traditional acoustic folk with a neo-hippie aesthetic. Think early Joni Mitchell or Jefferson Airplane, but freakier. Now this style has roots in the early 1960s, and some of the same substances that are responsible for giving us psychedelic rock are also responsible for this weird little subgenre. And remember kids, don't do drugs. Nu metal. Bands like Kid Rock, Metallica, and Limp Bizkit have all dipped their toes into nu metal. It's described as metal mixed with elements of hip-hop and grunge. Now nu metal purists rarely incorporate guitar solos into their music, are heavily syncopated, and the lead vocalist occasionally raps. The genre dried up for much of the 2000s, but has seen a small revival in recent years. I guess with all the reboots happening, nu metal decided to get a little piece of that action. Crunkcore. This subgenre is adjacent to nu metal, but relies more on emo and screamo than your typical run-of-the-mill heavy metal. Many bands that claim the Crunkcore moniker are heavily influenced by bands like Panic at the Disco. This subgenre is basically a casserole of early to mid-2000s era alternative music that somehow goes well together. You know, if you're into that sort of thing. Nerdcore. Now I bet if I just asked you what you think nerdcore is, your guess would probably be mostly correct. So go ahead. Yep. You're right, it's hip-hop about subject matter that's interesting to self-proclaimed nerds. It's like if the Beastie Boys wrote a Big Bang Theory musical. Anything from computers to science fiction would be covered in a nerdcore song, but not Harry Potter. That has its own subgenre called wizardcore. And I'm not making that up, Google it if you don't believe me, but not now. Do it when the video's over. Unblack metal. Now, unblack metal is similar to black metal in every way except for the fact that its artists are directly against the Satanist themes of black metal, or are explicitly Christian. Many of these groups started creating music within this subgenre because they loved metal, but they didn't care for the ideas and topics typically associated with the genre. So just imagine regular old black metal, but instead of Satan, they're singing about Jesus. Happy hardcore. The creators of happy hardcore could also be described as a group of musicians determined to break from the stigmas of a particular genre. When you think of pure hardcore music, it's difficult not to imagine a darker tone. Happy hardcore keeps many of the same elements of hardcore rock, but adds elements of dance music and is almost always in a major key. This subgenre also heavily relies on synths and piano riffs, and is similar to gabber and breakbeat, which are two genres I promise I did not make up. Wonky. Also known as purple sound, aqua crunk, or laser hip hop. Wonky is a subgenre that relies heavily on bizarre, syncopated beats and vintage synth sounds. The compositions aren't always rhythmically tight and mostly feature electronic tones that are extremely dynamic. You remember that sound the computer made in the 90s when it was dialing up to the internet? Kinda sounds like that. What are your favorite subgenres? Are there any you think deserve to be on the list? Let us know in the comments section and make sure you subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching, guys.